Good evening, and welcome to Rubber Duck Engineering. Tonight, we're going to explore what a roguelike is, and maybe try to build one.
A roguelike game, presumably.
Yeah, like a roguelike game.
You know what a roguelike is. The rest of the internet may not know,
I don't know. I would actually suspect that a sizable portion of those who happen to view this channel might know what a roguelike is.
It has come up before. When we interviewed Bob, we got into a whole roguelike tangent, which is, got me interested in the subject. And
so there was a game. So we'll get into a more precise definition, but to start off, there was a game in 1980 on the Atari called Rogue. And it's like a cultural icon. You'll see it referenced in old movies and stuff like that. And it's a dungeon crawler game. It was like an ASCII art kind of thing, or what we would now think of as kind of ASCII art. It's a dungeon crawler, procedurally generated. We should just pull up the Wikipedia. I have it up here because I'll get the list of exact characteristics wrong. And what happens when someone builds a new genre of game is then it becomes the whatever So right now I'm actually playing a game.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm playing a game, which is amazing. We can talk about more of that later, which is called a Souls-like because there was a genre of game called Dark Souls that pioneered the idea of just being user hostile. Like the game clearly hates you.
The boss is just going to swing their axe and bam.
Oh, yeah, and you're just going to die
for it.
And then you'll just go and, anyways. So roguelike, obviously, very early game. I don't know if we would talk about a Pong-like or a Pac-Man-like or whatever, but roguelike was a very early game back in the 80s.
It's like a top-down perspective, right? You're looking down from the sky.
So right? I think here we go. Exact definition remains a point of a Berlin interpretation. Oh wow,
the Berlin. It's like quantum mechanics. It's like the Copenhagen interpretation of roguelikes.
There are conferences for roguelikes. So we had Bob on, right? And Bob talked about giving a talk at one of these. I actually have another friend who gave another talk at it's a thing. The distinguished pure roguelike games like Rogue, NetHack, and Angband from edge cases like Diablo.
Diablo I've played. Okay.
Since then, more powerful rapper. Yeah. Okay, where are Spelunky, Fast and Light, Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, Hades. All of these are hugely popular. Well, hugely popular in my circles. Recent indie games.
But what is it? So there's like a maze component, and there's you swing your sword or collect items, or.
So I things that I think of are like permadeath. We're going to get the list out of it. Permadeath, procedurally generated. And the procedural generator is not just like the maps, but also like the items, like which items you encounter and what they do could be totally different. So there's a big amount of randomness. Permadeath meaning you don't get lives or whatever. You don't get halfway through.
There's no health bar.
Well, there may be a health bar, but when you run out of health, you're dead and you have to do another run. That's a thing that's different. It's like when you play Super Mario, you get halfway through level 1 and you die. You start again at the beginning of level 1. Because there's one level 1. In a roguelike, there's infinity level 1s. So when you die, you just get a new level 1. Let's see where we go. Some players.
So what is like a MVP or minimum viable roguelike? What are the ingredients that we need?
Here we go. Berlin interpretation. 8 high value factors. Random, dungeon generation. Okay.
Permadeath, we mentioned.
Permadeath. Turn-based. Interesting.
Oh, it's turn-based. Okay, cool.
So this is where things like Hades, which was on that list, that was Game of the Year 2 years ago, was a sort of semi-indie. By indie, it was like a 50-person studio. It's on every platform. That is not a turn-based, but it does have permadeath, does have randomness.
So you might take a step forward, and then the monsters all take a step forward towards you, or wherever they're going to go.
Certainly,
but then if you want to think for a while, the monsters aren't going to come and bug you. Okay.
And Slay the Spire, which was another modern example where it is turn-based. That one's like a deck builder kind of roguelike. The game is non-modal, so that every action should be available to play regardless of where they are in the game. Oh, interesting. I don't entirely know what that means, but the game has a degree of complexity due to the different number of game systems in place. creating emergent gameplay. Yeah, okay. So this you see too. And here again in Hades, which is again kind of maybe is a modern roguelike. I don't know if that fits this interpretation. You have this interesting interaction where it's like, because sometimes the potion you picked up makes you super ridiculously intelligent, like that can just be another way to get past the boss, as opposed to, needing to beat it with a sword. Like that there's just...
So it sounds like this is combined to have a high degree of replayability, because the randomness means it's different every time. This complexity means you don't use the same strategy all the time.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're forced to, like, replaying this is part of the game. Like that's another, right? Because you're going to die. A lot of the modern ones have like a meta game to them where things unlock, like the game gets more complicated as you play more times.
It's like you get new game plus kind of scenarios.
Yeah, but it's a sort of a mild thing. Like again, Hades, I don't know if that counts as a roguelike, but as a recent example of a game, that whole thing, like you have to do like 100 runs or something like that to get through the game. That means dying 100 times. And each time you get like a little bit of, tokens that you then spend outside of the game in the meta game in order to like change what's unlocked. And there's lots of games that play like that these days. I don't know.
That sounds like not for the MVP, but that maybe we'll get there.
Like I remember, I don't know if it counts as a roguelike. I think it's a roguelike. One that I played on the Mac when I was a really little kid, like 5 or 6. Scarab of Ra. No one in this room will remember that, but it was like a hypercard written. You can find it on the internet. Scarab of Ra. Dungeon crawler, turn-based. Your job was to like dive down into the pyramid, get the Scarab of Ra, and get back out before the mummy ate you.
Okay, sounds good.
Player must use resource management to survive. Okay. Yeah, okay. This I think is common. It's like there just isn't a lot of food. There isn't you have to make choices. Like you don't have enough inventory to carry the food and the gold and the... Game is focused on hack and slash. Goals to kill monsters and where other peaceful options do not exist. Okay. Game requires the player to explore the map. Yes. And discover purpose of unidentified object. I remember when I played Rogue or NetHack, or I don't remember which one it is, or Scarab of Ra, I think has this too. It's like you pick up a potion and it's a potion. It just says potion, or it like says blue potion or something like that.
You don't know what it does. You have to figure it out later.
And like when you drink the first blue potion, the blue potion is poison. Okay, I guess
try again.
Next time I pick up a blue one, I won't drink it.
Okay, can I pitch you my idea for an MVP?
Bitch.
Okay, so you spawn into like a room that has no doors or exits of any kind.
Okay.
And there is one mob, and you need to walk around and be able to hit the mob with your sword. Is that like the dumbest possible roguelike?
Let me show you what Rogue looked like.
Okay.
Oh, this is NetHack actually, but same idea.
Is one of these things you?
Yeah, NetHack. I think the @ is you.
Okay.
But this was like played on a terminal, and you could move with the arrow keys or whatever. Again, turn-based, and the D, whatever the heck that was, maybe it was a dog or something like that. Might chase after you. The colon might be gold or something like that. And then these doors, you would go in and it would like, pop you out. You wouldn't. I don't think there were monsters in between rooms. And then there were like up and down staircases. So this is like a minimalist MVP. And there's lots of others.
Does it have to be grid based, or can your position be a floating point?
Well, again, this gets to the turn-based nature, right? So like
you can walk one unit, but.
So like Slay the Spire is this. This may be dangerous, but I'm like. So this is a rogue, a modern roguelike that uses cards, and like you play a card, and that's turn base. Or Rogue was one we talked about. Oh.
Apparently, a brogue is a kind of shoe.
This is really dangerous, by the way. Doing Google image searches
live on the internet.
Live on the internet.
I think in one episode, if you freeze frame for one moment, there is something bad that happened.
Oh,
it's a treasure hunt for the dedicated fan.
Man. So here was another one. I happen to know the author of this. Again, very minimal graphics.
Okay.
So you were saying
my instinct for these things is always just to create an MVP and to try to make some minimally playable thing, and then start iterating on it.
So I think that if we want to do the something in this vein, like an MVP would be a grid that you could use an arrow keys or click to move your person around. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Let's try that.
Okay. Shall we to the code machine?
To the code machine.
I have to switch the screen projectors 1 second.
Can we totally make our character be the @ sign? Because that sounds awesome.
I was thinking we could use the dash icon, the material icon.
Oh, all right. I'm in for it.
Okay, so this is a clean Flutter project. Are we just doing plain old Flutter, or are we trying to do any sort of framework on top?
I think since I feel inspired by the ASCII art graphics, I think we should go super minimalist.
Okay. Okay, just committing the empty template to our thingy. Okay, I should run this. Oh, I did not set up my screen for this. We're gonna have to fake it. I don't know how the viewers at home are gonna see. We may have to have you do a song and dance while I fix my screen, or we may have to flip between.
We can also just start coding. Like it may be a while before we have something to look at.
Okay.
Because we need like some model classes and things of that nature, right?
All right, let's do it.
Do you want to create like a model that's separate from the UI?
Sure, we can all throw it in one file, right? And
okay. So we need like is it a dungeon?
Sure.
So dungeon. Doesn't seem like the right way of spelling dungeon. Oh, it's the right way of spelling dungeon. Okay. So then there's also like a room, right?
Okay.
And does a room have like a size? Like it has a rec maybe for where it is? Like what?
Yeah. So things that I think about from like the original Rogue is you have like so like the dungeon is the whole world, right? It's the world, and you might have like a level. You can go up and down as you're like slowly searching.
Okay.
And within a level, you might have like a room.
Okay.
And you might have some like connection between rooms.
Okay.
Scarab of Ra did not have that. Like they just had the whole dungeon was like a maze that was generated.
I'm just imagining a data model. I'm imagining like maybe the rooms are going to occupy like a rect of some sort.
Okay.
Like location.
Yeah, I think that
position.
Mm-hmm. Then you need like a player. You need like a mob of some form.
Is a player like extends mob movable objects?
Player might be extended movable object, or it might just be its own special thing because the player is kind of special. But sure.
So, since our MVP doesn't have a mob yet, I guess I'll just go like this. So these recs and stuff are like the Flutter ones, which are float. I feel like I want an integer one, right? If we're going to do a grid.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I find myself rewriting this class every single time.
Is there like maybe there's a package that has it?
There might be, or we could just go grubbing through our older. But like I constantly write a position class, which is like the integer version of rect.
Right. I feel like I've written this code a million times, but
I know.
Doesn't hurt to write it again. Remember a long time ago, I was hanging out with a guy who was writing his own game engine in C++.
Yeah.
And he originally started using Boost as the like underlying library for it, which is a very widely used, library in C++, but he decided he didn't like Boost, and so he just spent like all of his time like writing a new Boost. And then like some years later, he finally like started on his game, which took place in outer space. But like he spent it forever like writing this like a vector class.
I think this is a very common hobby project. I
Okay.
see lots of people writing their own game engines.
I feel like rooms don't move, right? So they're bound or final. Is that right?
I think a simplification, instead of having like multiple rooms in a level, we just have like a grid.
It's one room.
Yeah, that's how Gauntlet worked, which was another sort of dungeon crawler.
We need like an eye offset, right, to like move our thing.
Which?
I'm saying we're gonna have to move the player, right? So we're gonna need an offset.
Okay.
To apply like a dx and a dy.
How is offset versus position? This is like size. This is size versus point or whatever in WebKit.
Yeah, and this is just we did this in Flutter too, where we separate out the.
Okay, it lets you have sort of cutesy operators, but that's all it does.
Yeah, maybe it's the wrong thing. Should we just?
It's totally fine. I'm just. This really doesn't matter.
So we need like a move. So the player has to start somewhere, right? Like player.spawn at a location.
Okay.
And they need to be able to move, right?
Okay. It's interesting that you it's interesting that the like player knows its location as opposed to the
Is that all right?
The room or something knowing your location. It's totally fine. I was just
okay, that's a good point. Maybe like a game state. Do we have a game state?
Sure.
It'd be like has a player.
There's a guy who wanted to write a database in Rust, but didn't like the async I/O facilities in Rust, so he made all the foundational async libraries Rust project uses today. I'd believe it. I mean, there's.
Location is a
you just need motivation to do these things, and you never know what they'll actually, whether they'll be useful or not.
I feel like we can refactor this if this is not what we want.
I can implement that.
Operator plus.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. The problem with
I never got to making the database. Yeah, this is sometimes happens. Those are very, very useful projects. Like, definitely use those at work.
Dr. Barth actually writes Rust professionally.
Okay. Game state.
I wrote your check.
Great.
Or cash your check, or whatever the analogy you were using before.
A room and a player. Okay. So now what?
Well, why does it matter to us, first of all? I see.
Yeah, our game state doesn't quite make sense yet.
Okay, it's fine. So I think like an MVP would be you draw a grid and you.
Yes, I work on Touche. That's correct.
I'm gonna have the internet convinced that we need to say doctor in front of your name.
This is just an Ericism. He calls everybody. My name is Adam. Nice to meet you.
What was it? I think an MVP. I think very much in the like the UI side. Maybe that's why I work on UI frameworks and have for the last 20 years. An MVP is like a grid with a circle on it that when you hit the keyboard, it like moves the little circle from grid to grid.
Okay, let's do it. I feel like we can do that. I feel like I want a world that contains my room.
Great.
Right?
Is that your dungeon or your world or whatever? Yeah.
My world has bounds.
Does it?
As a size, maybe? Well, what I was just observing is in that picture of the roguelikes, the room didn't fill the whole screen, right? It was drawn as, or maybe that's not a relevant piece.
Well, if you look at, I'm pulling up other examples. Okay, I have to. Wow. The yeah, here, famous. I don't know if this counts as a roguelike. Okay. I tell you, I do not have a career in front of me in video production.
That's why a lot of shows have a producer who can help with these things. Well, okay.
So Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. What does this one look like? Okay, so it's okay for the room to fill the whole thing.
Right. So this one, and the room is much bigger than this. And in Gauntlet, there was just a zillion enemies, and you wandered around as the four, and I think you could hurt each other. Which it was an arcade game, or it had like a mostly arcade mode.
Okay, I understand, and that counts as a roguelike. That's still legit.
This is a good question. Is Gauntlet a roguelike? There are no pure roguelikes. Is a classic coin-munching arcade dungeon crawler and a classic. Okay, whatever. All right, moving back to the code machine.
I'm making a room view.
I think there might be a religion here. Is this true or false? Google is developing UI framework on Rust for Fuchsia. There exists in the code base.
Yeah, if you go search in the code base for a thing called Carnelian, you will find such a thing. I believe we use it when you boot up for the first time. We run the boot animation using that.
It says, I recall a tweet by Dr. Barth. See, I've started it. About exposing Zircon syscalls in a WebAssembly runtime. Was that idea scrapped?
I wouldn't say it's scrapped. I would say I tried it and it looked neat, and I don't know. I'm working on not working on that at the moment, but I think it's a cool idea.
I think WebAssembly is neat, and I think it just needs more big time. The world does more with it.
Okay, so I need to build a widget, right?
Whoa. Okay, now you are making me want to refactor. Model.dart. I'm doing it.
I feel like we do this a lot, right? We have a custom painter
that does a grid.
Does a grid. We may want to steal this from one of our other projects.
I think what happens, we actually just have the same show.
They talk about this in art, where if you just make enough art, you'll find yourself just making the same thing over and over again, and then that's when you really find what is important to you in life, or what your style is, or your point of view on art. So you make enough silly programs to you end up making the same program over again.
Okay, how much of this can I scrap? I feel like we used to have a flag on Flutter Create that would create a template without comments in it. I suspect among many things.
We're going to game states review.
Extend stateless view. Ring painter extends, yeah. It's missing.
Can you add the overrides? It won't let me do it because you're the actual person with the computer.
Oh, does it?
The light bulb can do it.
What?
Ask the light bulb. Dear light bulb, fix my class.
The power of light bulb.
Okay. So now I don't actually want to draw a whole grid. I want to. I just want to draw like the walls of the room.
Okay.
Is that seem legit? Like, I need like a size unit. Like, this is why I wanted to like know like the bounds of the world. Like, I
Mhm.
wanted to know like how big is the world?
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
So like imagine the room is like starts at position 1 1 and it
Mhm.
goes like 4 across and 2 down.
Yeah.
But my whole world is 10 by 10. I want to draw like that rectangle
Oh,
inside
so
of that.
you're trying to build something that looks like NetHack.
Yeah, maybe I have that idea in mind. Is that
I think the where my mind would go, and I don't know if this is easier or harder to generate, would be so like Scarab of Ra,
yep?
which was like a first person version of this. I could pull it up too, but it was a maze that you walked through, and the walls took up no space.
What do you mean by the walls took up no space?
So here, let me. What we're really doing tonight is we're exploring 80s games. So in Scarab of Ra, it was like Doom, except you
Oh,
couldn't. Right, so you would walk around. There's a sleeping monkey,
okay.
which you had a really hard time killing anything in Scarab of Ra. So like a sleeping monkey, you did not want to wake up. Anyways, but you can see you're in a maze. You're in like a grid.
Yeah,
But these walls don't take up any space.
I see.
So like if we did this top down, those would just be slightly bolder like edges. Or you could also imagine doing it like Gauntlet did,
hmm
right, where the walls do take up space. But otherwise, it's like a grid or a. But okay, I hear you. You could imagine that you don't want the full map to fill.
So maybe my room view needs to have a like a viewing region. Like this is the region of the universe that I'm viewing.
So in Gauntlet, certainly you had something like that.
Okay.
But you could also just presume you're zoomed all the way out at this point, and just we draw everything tiny if we have to.
Okay. I guess what I'm getting at is the size that I have is a floating point number,
Mm-hmm.
but my room and my player position are an integer, and so I need to divide somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what to divide by. That's where my mental block is.
Because I see. You want to know how to convert from
Like let's just do
room
the very simple thing.
coordinates to.
Yeah, I just want to like let's draw a circle where the player is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's say the player is going to be at position 7 2.
I see. I hear you. Yes. So so I guess the simplified version that I'm thinking of is that the world is always the same size,
Okay.
8 by 8 or 100 by 100 or something like that.
So why don't we just write that down in the somewhere? So like let's have a world class, right? And the world class is going to have a size.
Sure. And I guess I'm thinking of room and world as being kind of the same thing in this simplified world.
I was thinking of it as being different. I was thinking of a room as a thing in a world. But maybe let's get rid of the room for now. We don't need a room. Let's just have a world. We can add rooms later. Do you want to share the screen of the code?
Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong one, aren't I? Stop screen, share. It's our production assistant. There we go.
Okay, so this is good. So this will get me past my mental block. Because what I need to do is I need to, over here, back in main.dart, I'm now going to take my gamestate.world.width. I need like a
Yep.
unit, right, which is an offset. or a size, or it's like,
Yep.
it's width. This.
We've written this exact code. My God.
Yeah, we just keep doing this. This is why you end up running game frameworks, because you get tired of writing the same code over and over again.
We did this for the probably the cellular automata and the battle.
Yeah. Is size what I want here? I think I want offset. Yep. And then, okay, so now I want to draw the player position. So I want to draw a canvas, draw a circle. I don't have draw complete, so you might need to help me here. EX times state.player.location.x.
Does this help you?
Yeah. That helps me a lot. Thank you.
Oh.
Code that we wrote last time.
Yeah. I could have found earlier iterations of the same code, but I figured the last time we wrote it was probably the best.
Okay, so let's keep going here. Let's change the world painter. So this is going to be...
We can just literally use this code, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just changing the subtle details.
It's even license compatible.
We wrote it ourselves. Okay. What is position? Oh, position is our eye position. Okay.
I can get you that as well if you want.
That's cool. We got this. Okay. Paint pieces. This is going to be paint player. Okay.
I bet it's an engine.
Oh, we have this amazing delegated paint thing, which we don't need.
Whoa.
Oh. This is way too fancy. Who needs this?
Oh, I got a position and a delta for you that have magnitude and walking distance and equals and hash code.
Oh, hit me.
Hit me? Okay, here it comes. Where do we go here?
I just want to draw the circle that is the player.
So your delta. So I'm changing your. I can change their names. So I've dropped in delta. I'll rename it to I offset. Or are you just going to rename those? Which ones do you want? Oh, that's right. Hash values is.
I think delta is a way cooler name than I offset. If you're asking me.
Well, that's because that's how you wrote it last time. Where's hash values? This the need to write hash values went away at some point.
Oh, does it know how to auto-generate it?
There's like a new way to do it. Huh. Jenkins? What the heck is Jenkins? I don't know. We can solve that. We can chase that another time. Oh, and this needs import Dart math. Right, where'd you go? Coder somewhere.
The color equals colors dot orange.
Orange 500 or whatever.
Like shade 500.
I don't remember how it.
Okay.
Oh, good job.
These eye positions now called deltas or something, or what is?
Eye position is now just position.
Okay.
And delta is delta.
All right, so we got our world painter. Nailed it. Room painter, we can just stitch.
Yep.
This is going to be like world view. Okay.
State must be initialized.
Game state. Okay. Build. This is add override. Okay. Custom paint. World painter. Okay.
Use key. Okay. Key. This is then super key. I don't remember. I see. It means it's type. For declaring const constructors. Is there a world in which that's const?
A demo constructor for our game state.
Okay.
Okay. And center.
I can get you that too.
Yeah.
Second.
A constructor for the game state.
Row child. Ready for this? We don't need leaderboard. Called it worldview or something. How are we doing? 16 errors. Undefined name board. In position. Does world have constant widths and heights?
We should just say, oh, random. We don't need position random. You can just get rid of that.
Okay. Undefined I offset. This is delta.
This is like apply now.
Is this even still a thing? Player. Oh, I see. Yep.
Okay. Something is wrong here.
Non-nullable instance field player must be initialized.
Player equals player.spawn.
This needs a colon.
Okay.
Whoa, we're down to 1.
For const. Okay.
Got it. Flutter now comes with the Dart default lints enabled.
So can we try running this? Can we?
I don't know. Maybe things explode. I have no idea. Flutter Windows is already running. Cancel.
Let's go build Windows for the first time.
It doesn't build Windows for the first time.
Okay, so yeah. So while we're doing that, we should think about we're going to want to be able to press the keys, right? Did we do another project where we hook the keyboard?
I don't think we did for Lambda Battle. Trying to think which one. So what do we got? We got Flortle. That has some. Pangram.
Pangram should hook the key. Oh no,
I think Flortle was more recent.
Okay, so let's see if we remember how to hook the keys in there.
Conway ecosystem? No. Okay, let's look up Flortle here. We have written a lot of silly little programs in the last 94 of these.
When by their powers combined, it will become a roguelike game.
Flortle keyboard.
That one had an on-screen keyboard as well.
Yeah, I'm looking for the. I'm sure we did this on key pressed. Oh,
Yes. That sounds right.
Whoa. Okay, I have it. It's drawn. I gotta share it for you.
Something clearly went wrong because I saw a big spew of errors. Oh, that doesn't look so bad.
No, it doesn't look too bad at all. I don't know that your person's supposed to be 2x the size, but
That seems a little big. Oh, because I did radius.
but it looks great.
Okay.
Um,
Right, that was really the diameter that I wanted.
I did not. Whoa. Key up event is dispatched, but the state shows the physical key is not pressed. What is this? Hardware keyboard? Oh, this is just some bug in Flutter, I suspect.
Okay. I feel like this is not quite in the right. Do I need like a half? Because I want the center.
Aha, found it. Raw keyboard listener.
We want to just draw a rect. Maybe it'd be simpler to make the player a rect. There we go. Now the player is that orange rectangle. Nailed it.
Okay, so I have a keyboard for you here. I'm going to dump it in. There's your raw keyboard listener that we can extract.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
Keyboard state.
What'd you say?
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks, but I did not set up my broadcasting setup quite correct. We have to choose between the code and the.
Should we take a vote? Like, say in the chat whether you want to see the code or you want to see the actual game emerge.
What? Live broadcasting votes? What
the
technology is
for?
this?
Okay. World view.
Next thing I hear, you're going to be creating a straw poll.
Node. Okay. Any more of that flirtal stuff? Okay.
Yeah, this
I
thing.
Totally. I broke everything.
Oh, that's fine. This thing was complicated. This was the keyboard that it was building, and so it had a raw keyboard listener on the keyboard.
Okay. So raw key down event is not a thing. So maybe I need to import like services or something.
I did import services. I think that they may have changed names.
Oh. No, this is good. Enter with enable we don't need. Okay, so we need to say, what do you want to use the arrow keys or do you want to use the ASDF? Code.
I see a vote. The vote wins.
It's democracy. This is democracy with a very small electorate.
A chat's not spamming emotes, so we must be doing
code.
Right.
The code.
Depends how quickly the game emerges. Yes. If we typed faster, they would be content with the.
All right. So I think we need to make a decision about whether we're using the arrow keys or we're using ASDF.
We're using the arrow keys.
The arrow keys?
Like the founding fathers did or whatever. You have some saying. You have some atomism. I don't know.
Left arrow key, arrow left. Okay. Any more of this? So let's try this.
I feel like we've fallen into this pattern where I've been watching competitive video games and like football and soccer and whatever, they have the analysis commentator and the color commentator. I feel like I've ended up being the color commentator and you've been the coder.
Okay, left is -1 and 0. Yeah.
I hear a vote for Emacs key bindings. Key bindings.
For some reason, the code is not reformatting for me. I don't know what that means. I'm totally messing all up.
This is just when it, we're missing. We have a stray. We have an extra punctuation somewhere, and thus it can't parse it, and so it can't reformat it.
Okay.
So we got to fix that. All right. So this is.
Are you on it? Now you get to decide is which way is up. I think up is minus. Is my guess.
All right.
We're gonna find out though. Okay, we're gonna need to refactor this in a second.
So we also could make these. Right. So we could do delta.up.
Yeah, we'll refactor. I just want to make it go here. I mean, sure. You want to do that? Go for it. So it's very sad.
We just gotta fix the first error. I just didn't do it for you.
It's some very basic problem here.
It's just a mismatched parentheses or I would start deleting code until it goes away.
Oh, I got it.
I'm doing your up, down, left, right.
Okay. I'm gonna optimistically call it.
Yeah,
they constant constructors?
Writing those checks. Up, down.
Something I learned from Unity. Unity is all about these like up, down, left, right.
Oh yeah, it's super nice. I can never remember. Is Z? Which direction? Is it towards the camera? I feel like I really need to just spend, you know.
I want to do this mind meld where I take all these ideas from Unity and just like make a like Flutter package that just is like has all those concepts in it, because we just keep writing them, right? Like it's so ridiculous to write them all the time. So did this work? Do you want to see if we can move the orange square?
Oh my goodness. I won't ruin the punchline, but let me. If I was really a professional streamer, I would have one of those. Whoa. Well, hold on.
Our left is left.
Right and left are going. Right is going down. Did I?
Right is going down. Why is right going down?
It's because I screwed up the.
Oh, you made it go minus.
I had one job.
dy. You had one job. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Edit the code, and it's just like.
Well, the really nutty thing is you were editing a constant. Like, okay, so we can move our character around. So, minimal viable roguelike achieved.
Yeah, I think that's pretty serious towards the MVP. So, other things that like to make this a like next step of viable, if it's a roguelike, you might want to have like you might want to have a staircase. And then multiple levels, right? So you go onto a square and it like zooms you to the next level. You're not enthused by that idea. You're me somewhere else.
This is where I wanted to put a mob in there, because then we could go beat the mob and win the game.
Go for it. Okay, so you want to have another mob that whenever we take a turn, it takes a turn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
So I want to go back to the model.
Okay, I had a vote for code machine, so we're going back to the code machine. Have to give the people what they want.
Like the mob also has a location. Mob can spawn into like a list here in the game state, right? So mobs.
Yeah, Unity would do this differently.
How would Unity do it?
I think it would like you would pass the keyboard event into a like direction vector thing, and it would just return 0, 0 when there was no direction vector.
Well, that makes sense. Sure, go for that. I feel like there's like a turn thing, right? Like whenever we turn the crank, we need to like tell the game state to go take a turn. And the mob is going to be like an abstract class where turn is its like virtual method. Am I over engineering here?
Sorry, I went from color to analyst. I went into the tank, right? Refactoring. Okay, I'm going to not. Did I just undo your undos? Can we share a buffer?
Oh, just go for it. Don't worry about me.
All right, so I'm back. My brain is no longer in the code. What were you asking? You're doing a mob?
I'm trying to do a mob that just like wanders around.
Yeah.
When it's the mob's turn, they're going to pick a random location.
The way I've seen this done is that mobs can optionally have a brain.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, because in Unity, right, you just have everything is an whatever, and there's an update, right, that's called.
Okay, update. That's good to know.
And so then mobs could optionally have a brain.
Okay, so the brain is the abstract purpose.
And then in the like mob, there's like if brain is not equal to null, call brain update.
It gets past the mob or something.
Yeah, probably the brain probably retains the mob or something like that. I don't know that brain.
Let's pass it in, right? I'll check this.
Any of these are possible. I don't know that. I remember this pattern being in the. Did we ever do that on the show? The like thing where I was dissecting the like dungeon to try and make the.
We did one episode on that, but I don't know if we got to this level of detail in it.
I spent several weekends dissecting that thing.
So what is the like MVP of the mob's brain?
Just a random mover. Like it just picks of the possible moves.
Huh.
That's another pattern that I've fallen into is that you hand it something that you can ask questions like possible moves, and then like the random thing is just like it of the randoms it just picks one of the possible moves and returns that.
Okay, so this is like list of deltas, possible moves, like delta up, delta down.
Well, this is because like what happens at the edge of the screen.
We'll get there. Like we're trying to do the dumbest possible thing. The dumbest possible thing does not care about the edge of the screen. Whenever I'm doing something like this, I'm always asking this question: like what is the dumbest version of this?
Mm-hmm.
You can make things smarter. It's hard to make things dumber. Okay, update. The random mover needs to get the mob in its constructor. Like this dot. Here's my mob.
Yep. I think that would be a reasonable.
Okay.
Are you saying that the random mover is the brain?
The random mover is going to extend brain, yeah. Okay. Update function. We need like a random int. Figure out how to get a random int.
It's next int. Something like that. It's like random. So you're gonna need and want to take a seed. This dot or int seed. And you're gonna want to keep yourself a random. Done this a few times.
Okay.
You're gonna want this to be random seed. The reason why you want the seed is for testing or repeatability. Okay. And it's fine that it defaults to 0. Yeah. And then random is in math, so this should have been okay. And in the field, oh, of course not. Final random
index. Okay, I'm gonna tell my mob to go do that. Dot location dot mob dot move.
I don't like. Maybe just this technology didn't exist when you and I were, but you and I never pair programmed like this.
No, I think it's great. I love doing it this way.
I think if we were doing it as our day job, we might need a sharper sword.
Location equals location dot like that. Okay. We need to call this update function for all the mobs, right? For var mob in mobs. Okay, mob, it's your turn to update. And then here when
This is turn-based. This update is probably just like do turn or something like that. But yeah, update is called every frame in Unity.
Oh, I see. So, but do you want to call it like update turn or?
This is fine. We'll just keep going. We're doing the dumbest thing per your.
I want to give my mob a brain.
You do as part of creating it. You can optionally pass a brain.
Oh, okay. But I can't. In order to create the brain, I need to. The brain is capturing the mob, so I need to have the mob first.
Oh, okay, fine. So I will remove this from Flutter. Yep.
Do you think it would be simpler to pass? Okay, this is fine. So we want to say like mob.
It's also the brain could like not require the mob at creation time.
Let's factor this out of this list. This is just our like demo, right? So mob equals that. Let's say mob dot brain and over mob. Please put this mob and then mobs dot add mob. I feel like we're gonna want some like data file where we.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna randomly generate, right? Because it's a roguelike.
Yep. We're gonna also have to have stats, and we're gonna have to have what happens when they step on the same square.
Okay, we need to paint the mobs, right?
Yes, we need to paint the mobs.
Okay, right. Paint player, and
this thing
right
here.
Cell size. This is paint player. Right. We need paint. Okay, I'm going to say for var mob in game state dot mobs. Please paint my mob. Canvas size. Okay.
Why are your hands type MOV instead?
It's like assembly. It's the move instruction in assembly.
You've been typing a lot of assembly recently?
No, but it's just what's there after MO. We've written more assembly than games, put it that way. Okay, the mobs are going to be red.
Sure.
Okay. Mob location. Okay.
We also need to call update every time we take a turn.
Right. Did you do your key refactor? Or no,
I did.
Do your key?
I had started to go into the tank, and so I think we just spam it out here. We'll deal with it later, right? So it's just call next turn. State.
Okay. We're just going to copy and paste this a million times, which is fine.
I'll do the copy pasting. You can write next turn, which just all it does is call update on all the. I can refactor this.
Okay.
Key.
Then we're going to need, in order to actually win the game, well, maybe we won't get to winning the game this episode.
Oh, I don't think we will. Not today.
It does observe that the mob and the player are at the same location.
Oh, that wins or loses?
Yeah, I think if the player sits on top of the mob, they got him.
Oh,
I could do that. I could say if for mob and mob update, if mob dot location equals player dot location. Dying, doomed. far pop in. Okay.
Factoring. Not quite done. My refactoring can be turned off. So.
Oh, that's good.
Write delta 0 real quick.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
All right, so that refactor should work. Be significantly less ugly, and it also gives the ability to not advance the game state when.
Okay.
There you go.
And grand reveal. You probably need to do a hot restart.
Yeah, the mobs did not show up. Okay, stopping that one and screen sharing. Oh. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
What?
Go get him. Go get him.
Oh, he went off screen.
He might not come back.
Okay, I'll
hot restart. You gotta go get him. You gotta get him.
Oh, because we game over.
We got him. I think you got him. We won. We created the dumbest roguelike and we beat it. I think this is good progress. This is a foundation we can build from.
Yeah, this is good. Excellent as always. Pleasure to see you, Darky Barth. Any further commentary before we?
I didn't realize how much variety there was in the roguelike category. I guess I was assuming it was things much more like NetHack and Binding of Isaac, but it seemed like I didn't realize like the camera position was totally free form. Like you could have first person or top down or whatever.
I just think in 42 years, we the internet have invented a lot of different games, many of which. So like Wikipedia has a list of roguelikes, and it's like hundreds long. So there are lots of games out there. Anyways, wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see all of you. Thank you all for coming by, and
we'll see you
next week, Dr. Barth.
See you.